Hello and welcome to another how-to video. My name's Daitech, CTO DVS, and first make sure you get out your phone and download the DVS app from iOS or Android store. Packed full of features and functions like the storage calculator, download manuals, request a tech callback, etc. So even if you're not a DVS customer, it could still benefit you. There's no cost to it, so go and download it. There will be lots and lots of continual improvement and development moving forward. Second thing, thanks for Toshiba for sponsoring our channel and for their great hardware that they make for storage. So what are we going to look at today? So for those of you that use HIK-Central, we've got a brand new solution for you. It's been out for a couple of months, but I wanted to sort of bring it to the forefront now. Now we've tested it, now we can see the real benefits of this, and we've sold quite a lot of these devices. So in my hands, I have a Dell OEM all-in-one PC. So this comes pre-installed with HIK-Central on the server, with licenses that allow things like 2 facial recognition cameras, 32 cameras, access control, 32 alarm inputs from an AX Pro wireless alarm system, 4 Anpr cameras, temperature and mass licenses, as well as the entry-exit licenses for the Anpr. So it's a highly cost-effective solution. So PC with software and licenses pre-installed. If you separated those separate components out, the cost will be more than double of what we're providing it for you currently. There are some limitations. It's a special version based on 1.7 of HIK-Central currently. The licenses can't be added or changed, so they are ingrained in there and we can't add to it. So if you fill them up and then you decide you need to add just one more camera, we're not able to add or change that. You would have to then take that out and put a full HIK-Central system in there. So bear that in mind. If it's for a future job that's going to grow and progress, that might not be the solution for you now, but it fits in perfectly with a small to medium sized enterprise end user market solution. Really cost effective, like I said. Dell OEM, so it's optimized for this application, and if you're into Anpr, this is a must. This is the entry and exit license, which I'll show you in a minute, or the entrance exit module for the Anpr is absolutely fantastic. With this, I wouldn't use an NVR by itself anymore. I'd definitely combine it with the power of HIK-Central to make that adding and deleting notifications, barrier control, LED sign, drive it all from HIK-Central and give the end user that experience that they deserve. So it's simple. Plug it in, power it up with mains, plug in your peripherals, monitor, mouse, keyboard, etc. Put a network cable in there. It's already activated, and I'm going to turn this back on. Whoop, that way. Quite a small form factor. It's got a couple of USBs on the front. I'll plug this back in, switch it on, and then we'll access it from my PC, and I'll give you a quick overview of what this 32 channel workstation really does bring to the marketplace. That low cost entry level market, get your customer engaged, and then they're going to love it so much that they'll start using HIK-Central moving forward on their other bigger jobs, hopefully. So don't forget, you can't upgrade it, you can't remove licenses, we can't swap it out. There are some limitations on this because of the power of the PC. We can't do GIS mapping, like rows replicator, some of the functions that are really reserved for that project environment. They've been removed from the core functionality of this. But again, check with your DVS sales rep and we can give you a detailed overview of what that does and doesn't do, and where it, more importantly, where it would fit into your customer base. So stay tuned, I'm going to transfer you back over and we'll see what this little beauty can do for us all. Okay, so I've got the device back on our network now. I've got TeamViewer installed on it, so we'll TeamView into it and I'll give you an overview of this. This is the specification of the device. So you can see HIK-Central Workstation 32. You can see the live view and playback configuration, record storage. So it's really important. This doesn't have any built-in storage. So if you do have storage requirements, you need to use the NVR, DVR, like you would normally do in any circumstance. It doesn't have the recording server capabilities. It doesn't have enough storage or power to do that P-Store functionality. But you can see, really, really powerful. So you get that really great user interface of HIK-Central. Hopefully we'll be able to upgrade it to HIK-Central 2 version 2 shortly. By have asked HQ, apparently we need to formulate a special version for this 32 workstation update, which they're going to get back to me on. That might be available by the time you watch this video, so please do check. But again, all of the great functionalities you'd expect from the HIK-Central VMS: temperature screening, face and body recognition, entry and exit control for car parks, security control for the AX Pro, access control and video intercom. So really, really powerful. And you can see the specifications. So 32 cameras, that includes ANPR cameras and facial recognition, 2 cameras. So 128 manageable IP devices, 8 intercom devices, 32 alarm inputs and outputs. ANPR cameras 4, cameras that have face recognition capture function 2, so whether it's through the camera directly or through a IDSX NVR or 8F, 4F NVR with the functionality actually on the DVR NVR. 2 security radars, so our radar technology, you can add up to 2 of them. 64 areas, cameras per area 32, and then you've got like your rules, your pictures, reports. Data can be stored up to 6 months, so data for ANPR, etc. Really important, users roles, concurrent access via web clients and control clients 8. So because obviously the PC is reduced in specification, we can't have it perform the same instance as it would on a HIK-Central server. That would support like 100 concurrent users actually. So still supports up to 8, mobile phone connections up to 8, users 8, roles 8. Vehicle lists, so 50 lists and 500 vehicles per list. That's absolutely fine for most applications that we come across where this would really fit. Past that, then we'd need to look at the full HIK-Central build. 4 lanes. And you've got like face comparison, access control, access doors, and then the control client performance built in. You could use this as a server and then connect it with a more powerful PC with graphics card capability to do the decoding, as the client, and then just use this as a server. Still really cost effective for that solution as well. There's the specifications of this PC. And there we go. There's the overview as you would expect. So, TeamViewer. So we're TeamViewered into the HIK-Central web client. If I look at the services are actually running. So if I just double click that, it's running, started, everything is normal. I can click on there, change the ports as appropriate. If I don't want the default ports, I can absolutely change those to suit my needs. It is set to auto launch, so when the PC reboots, that will start in the background and the service will continue to run. First thing you need to do, so the HIK-Central Professional Web Client, open this up, type my username in. So I've updated this already to my password that I would like. So again, for those of you who've used HIK-Central, it's a really familiar front end. Even if you haven't and you've used IMS 4200, you get the logic behind this layout. Really simple to use. You can see under the license details here. So 29 cameras out of 64 issued. Actually, it's not. It's supposed to be 32. There's a double license installed in the background of this server by accident, but it is actually 32, just to point that out before anyone comes back to me on that. ANPR cameras, so 3 out of the 4 are configured, so click on configuration, and there are my 3 ANPR cameras that I've already assigned, and I can add a 4th one. Click add, choose where that ANPR camera is amongst the added devices, select it, and it will add it into the list here, up to 4 available. Face recognition cameras, I can actually add my face recognition cameras in, so IDSX NVR, pick the appropriate ones that are linked for facial recognition. For instance, it could be this one here, click add, and then that is set up and I can configure the events, database, etc. And then you can do thermal reports on VIF cameras, access points. It'll show you everything you've got connected to it. Pretty much for test purposes, this is it. So as I said, really powerful device for your user client for the SMB marketplace. And if you're using ANPR, this is really a must. So under physical view, you can see I've added my 2 devices there. Access control, I can add my devices. So go to add, fill in the appropriate details here, and then add any access control devices that are appropriate for this site. Same with video intercom. You can add your devices there. Security control device, my radars. For instance, it's picked up a AX Pro there, so I can actually add my AX Pro directly to this thing and the 2 security radars. network transmission device, and display screens. Now the display screens are the Anpr and the DS-TVL screens, the Anpr LED matrix. So again, if you use Anpr and you want an LED matrix sign to say, you know, how many spaces are free, the vehicle reg, hello, whatever that message may be, then this is where you add your display screens, and it links together with the entry and exit control. We have actually got one of these display screens here at DVS. We're in the process of fitting that, and I'll do a separate standout video where HIK-Central and that LED matrix are combined for the purposes of entry-exit control. A really, really powerful solution. But again, that's where you add them in, recording servers and streaming servers. But remember, the HIK-Central itself, the embedded HIK-Central, cannot use the recording server or P-Store. It's just simply not powerful enough. Logical areas. So I've added my two back-end devices, both NVRs, and effectively demo room and IDSX NVR. So again, I can go and get camera name, so refresh any that may have been updated, and then you can see there's a couple of cameras offline there. Same with this one, highlight it, and then get camera name, update any that we've changed since. So again, doors. So if I add doors, I'd be able to, they would have automatically added in there, but I can do doors, radars, alarm inputs, and alarm outputs. So with alarm inputs, they're all the ones from the NVRs that are associated with it. So you can see, you can click on alarm input and actually start configuring the events. Just like any HIK-Central VMS system out there, that functionality remains and is key to the functionality. The one things that I do think are really good for this is the Anpr itself. So again, under vehicle, so let's delete this and start again. So the first thing you need to do is add a vehicle list. So we're going to call this DVS staff. List color, let's have it red. Entry and exit rule, all day open barrier, all day manual open barrier, or add a new one. So any car in the list at any time of day will automatically open the barrier. I can have parking space control enabled. So the capacity could be 50 spaces. And the currently free parking spaces of 25 or 0 or whenever you're doing that. And the effective period would be from to. So we'll leave it as all the time. Description, DVS, staff, car, parking, rule. Okay, so you don't have to use the capacity control. You may just want it for the LED sign matrix or just for the user interface of how that comes up in the control client. But we'll just simply add that in. Under the list, we're going to add a vehicle, so add mine in, W1 DVS, capital letters, no space, vehicle type, well, it's a 4x4, so I'll call it a pickup truck, color, black, brand, Ford, effective period. You can put an effective period for this vehicle, so I can only come in between that date and those times. Or just leave it blank and it's, you know, indefinitely effectively. Owner's first name is David. Davis. Phone number 02920455512. I can actually link it to a person list as well. So if I add access control with a reader on there, I can click on person list and associate it to a person there. So basically my car and my access control card are assimilated together, and it makes the whole system become an effectively integrated system. So let's go click on add. So we've put that in there now, and you can keep adding that, you know, stuff as required. You can even export a list, so you can export it all, import a list. So if I click on import, I can download a template, like an Excel template. Click on that. Let's open the template. I haven't got Excel installed on this PC. By default, it's not installed. But you can download the template, fill them in using Excel, capital letters, no spaces, and then import it back in as a migration tool. So it's really, really simple to do. Next thing, parking lot. So let's delete all these and start again. So we're going to add a parking lot now. Effectively, we're going to change the name of this. So parking lot DVS2, we're going to call it DVS staff car park. Save. So it's one overall parking system, but you can have different entrances and exits. So you could have east entrance, north entrance, or whatever that, if that makes sense, or they can all be within the same car park, for instance. So first we need to edit this. So car park lot name is DVS staff car park. Capacity is 50. Free spaces currently is 25, like I said. Maximum duration. You can put a maximum duration between 1 hour or 3,000 hours, and that will give you the reporting. So if a vehicle hasn't left between that period, that will actually alert through to the software, and then you can go and speak to that individual, issue a ticket, etc. We don't have a direct way to issue a ticket from our software, but it can run a report, email, etc., and then allow you to show the offending vehicles who are parking longer than they are allowed to park effectively. So maximum duration, we'll leave that 0. Expiration day, we'll leave that blank. But you could after 50 days, for instance, then the expiration prompt will be displayed. But we'll leave that as 0 because it's not mandatory. Click a save. So 50 free spaces. We're going to assign an entrance. The lane name is entrance. Capture unit, we're going to use the IDS TCM out on the main road as the entrance. I can assign access control or video intercom devices as well. Like I said, they become a synergy. So select type of device which supports video intercom and opening barrier by swiping card. So you can select either one of those. Again, assign the person to the reader and then all the records tie together. But I don't have one here. Display screen is none, but I can add a display screen in, like I said. And device for barrier control is the capture unit. So the capture unit here, we're using this relay output to control the barrier. And the related camera, we can actually have an overview camera. So if I want to relate up to 3 cameras, it could be an overview camera. Let's put it as these 2 cameras here. Click add. So those 2 cameras are referenced as overview cameras. Click add. Now we've got to add the exit. So exit, you don't have to have entrance. You can have them entrance or just exit. You don't have to have 2 set up if you've only got 1 car park. Capture unit, the 7-line deep learning camera. Capture unit for that, and then put this as that one as an overview. Click add and click add. So we've set up an entrance and an exit, and I can add another 2 entrances, another 2 exits, because you can have up to 4 cameras configured, like I said. The entry and exit rule. So rules for vehicle in list, we've got the all-day open barrier, all-day manually open barrier, and rules for vehicle not in list. So if you're not on the list, it's a manual open from the software. The barrier won't open automatically, but I can add a time period. So rule name 9 to 5, and then automatic open for barrier, schedule, custom, and then I could put 9 to 5, all days. Click add. And then I can select which rule. Once I've added that, I can actually apply that. So under parking lot, I was in the wrong part. So under vehicle, select the list, edit that list, and you've got the all-day open barrier, 9 to 5, etc. So now that list can follow that rule that you added there. So it's relatively simple, relatively straightforward, and that is effectively how you then set up the ANPR. So we've effectively added my plate in there and the details. I can add custom additional information. So if you want a default line, so title, it could be I don't know, apartment number, general text, number, date, single selection. Click save. So when you add another person in, you have to fill in the part number in 101, for instance. Okay, so you can add custom additional information as well, which helps build up that detailed database of the users. Under security, you can add your users, roles, etc. We've only just leave them as default. So we can also do the maximum number of times the client locks out, lock after 10 minutes, when the password expires. So we're going to do turn that off because it's a demo system. And then you've got all of your other functions within the system settings where you've got the user preference, server usage, printer settings, network. So if you're using it NTP, you can add an NTP time server in there. Register and generic registered central system, device access protocol, and then the WAN address. So if I want this externally, I put my external IP address in there, change those ports, and they would be mimicked. Those ports then would mimic what I said earlier in there. So that's already running, sorry. Those ports mimic what goes on in there, so make sure they're replicated. But effectively, once you've done that, through that external IP address there, you'd be able to, and providing the IT of, you know, either done the port forwarding or whitelisted your IP addresses, MAC addresses, etc., then you would be able to access this system remotely through the web browser client or your phone. So that's pretty much the web browser functionality I wanted to go through. So really, really simple. Full user guides there, so if you need any additional help, you can actually use the built-in guides there. Backup and restore, so you can export the configuration data to keep it safe. Upgrade device firmware there, so if you want to do any upgrading of device firmware. And you can also back up the system here, enter all these details, and then take it off the PC, and it'll do it automatically as well. So it'll do it monthly on what day and at what time, or you can do it weekly, daily, etc. Depends how critical your system is, and it'll keep 3 backups in that location there. So really, really straightforward. So we're going to close that down now, and next we're going to give you a quick overview of the professional client and the ANPR function. Okay, so I've opened up the control client under monitoring. So you can see all of the 2 devices I've added there. If I double click on it, it will actually load all the cameras will start live viewing. Obviously they'll be in substream. You can see it overloads when it first opens. It will settle down depending on the substream settings and how many cameras you're viewing, and what this device is doing will dictate how well this performs. But we've run this extensively now, and this view will be, you know, even in this view here, if I do this, fold that down, you know, and do a expanded view, you know, I can leave that there, and you know, the PC handles that, and it'll just sort of run. So you can see there's all of the views from that NVR are currently present. So yeah, it's nice. So close that back down. So we'll stop the view on that. Again, a typical HIK-Central function, and again with this IDX NVR, we've got the ANPR camera, so that one there, that one, and that one there, the ANPR cameras that are currently on the system. So on the main menu, so again, just another thing, if you don't want to show any of this, you can actually limit this it's by the user profile, so you can set up a user and hide these, or you can actually drag them over to there, and they actually just hide over there. So they're still there, but they just hide over there, you know, if that's of interest to anyone. Dashboard, you can actually build up reports on there, so vehicle analysis, so you can go to create a report. So you've got ANPR or entrance and exit, staff car park, daily report today, probably no vehicles. I've only literally just set that up, click on that. Yeah, so currently very little, because I've literally just set it up now. So nothing yet. But again, that would build up a report on there and show you times and the vehicles that have entered and exited as they've gone in. Under ANPR, you can do the same, choose the cameras, click daily report, and you can see there, now I've just pulled the data using ANPR, you can see the difference there. So you can add that as a report to your dashboard, export it. So if I want to see the ANPR traffic analysis, click add the dashboard, give it a name, ANPR cameras traffic flow. So add and go to dashboard. So you'll see that now as a report, and I can actually just refresh that. So click on there, refresh it, as it'll go through. You can actually expand it and show it there. Simple way to do it. Click refresh and it'll go and refresh that data. And again, you can do the same. You can actually default a daily report, weekly report, annual report, custom times. I can actually show, give it another report, go into vehicle analysis. If I do the entrance and exit, it would, once that's built up some data, so far nothing, because I said I've only just enabled it, so nothing to show currently. But again, I'll go yesterday, because nothing, no data there, because I only just run the report or made the entrance and exit. So back in the main menu, so that's the report functionality. If you go to the entrance and exit function, so you can see now some of the cars that have just been captured here. So they're not on the list at all. So none of these are on the list. It says not allowed. If I double click on one, it gives you the detail of the car, brand, etc. And you get that overview. So if you remember, I assigned the overview cameras, so you can actually now start benefiting from those overview cameras. And whereas previous to this 1.6 version, it was very difficult. I'm just going to update that resource. What I can do is show the live views by clicking on there. So you've got the entrance to our car park plus the main road. And I can now actually wait for a vehicle to pass, and then that will freeze frame it as the last captured picture there. Barrier control, I can actually open the barriers directly from here. I can remain unlocked as well, close it as well. So nice and simple for your security guard to override that should they need. And it tells me how many free spaces I've got. So 25 out of 50 remaining. And that's what the LED matrix would look like outside. There's only myself currently in this Anpr list. So if you're using it for barrier control, obviously I'm the only vehicle in there, so I'd have to drive in and out to get the benefit from this. But that's effectively where we're at with it. So really nice and simple, and I can step that out and have that on a separate screen even if my security guard just needs to monitor this. And as vehicles pass, they will be added to this list below here, and he'll tell you if there's entry, exit, what time it was, if barrier opened or not, and then if it was allowed or not allowed, because none of these vehicles are currently in the list. I've just noticed I need to update one of the MVR's time, since our time has changed in the UK. But again, I can actually do vehicle searching as well. So from here, if I close this down and I go back to my main menu, so I've got my vehicle search. So vehicle passing record or vehicles in parking lot. So I can say for the last 30 days, camera, choose all of them. And I'm going to choose as well the plate, W1DVS, click search, and there are all the ones that's pulled from the NVR since it was running. So this was this morning when I was coming in. So again, even at that angle, that's not the recommended installation angle, but you can see there it's pulled it from the NVR, and then you've got the associated video with it. So really nice, simple search interface. It actually tells you, when you click on it, it actually tries to tell you some more information. So the country regions are supported, sedan type vehicle, brand, colour, other, direction forward. Now, the 7 line doesn't really support that functionality. It's the IDS TCM. So if I looked at the IDS TCM, for instance, then it tells me there, it's not an alpha, it's a forward, but the colour is black and direction forward. So again, that's the 203, and we're now on the 403 IDS TCM, which is even better results there. But really simple, nice, easy interface for your customer to look at, and you can start filtering it by owner, vehicle type, brand, colour, etc. should you have the appropriate camera fitted. Or you can put it into square mode and see them all like that. Nice and easy to see. So that's pretty much what this, and again, you've got people analysis, vehicle analysis. So click on that and you've got the analysis, like I said. What we need to also look at is alarm center. So again, using the alarm center, all your alarms will come into there. So whether it's the overstay alarms, whether it's the vehicle in blacklist, temperature too hot, door force from access control, alarm input from the NVR, radar, whatever the devices you've got connected in here would all appear in here for your end user to see, action, analyze, and then do the report should it be needed. Hopefully that's given you like a brief overview of what this solution can offer you. SMB market, really cost effective, full of features and functions for that cost. And I say, for those of you who use Anpr, this is like a ready to go solution that you can offer to your customer base for Anpr, and it's a really, really powerful system compared to that using IMS 4200 or the NVR solution. Still both powerful solutions, but this takes it another step forward and really enhances the offering to your customer. Be unique and go for this. Any questions, please get in contact with your DVS sales specialist or use webinar@dvs.co.uk for any further questions. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next week for another how-to video, and wherever you are in the world, stay safe, stay subscribed, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.